The system said I was the chosen male lead, and my mission was to win over the wealthy and beautiful female lead. But can someone tell me why? After mistakenly pursuing the female supporting character for 3 months, her gaze toward me is becoming more and more unsettling. At first, I really did it on purpose. When her father came to snatch her tuition, I pinned that drunkard to the ground and beat him. When she got scolded by her boss at work, I smashed the cash register. When she said with reddened eyes, "I'm not good enough for you," I just carried her straight home. The system scolds me every day for straying from the plot, saying this poor supporting female character will ruin my bright future. But watching her squat by the stove, braising red-braised pork for me, with oil stains on her apron and her eyes curving into crescent moons when she smiles, I suddenly feel that the so-called male lead script doesn't seem all that important anymore. When the system found me, I was squatting behind the internet cafe, scarfing down instant noodles. It says I'm the male lead, and my mission is to win over the female lead. So don't waste time here. I slurped my noodles without looking up. All night special 30. Spend 50, get 100 free interested. The system panicked. Do you know the reward for succeeding is a house? I slammed the instant noodle cup flat with a smack. Why didn't you say so earlier? Let's go. Let's go. Let's talk. I'm not good at chasing people. The only thing I'm good at is playing games. The system, also single since birth, suggested, easy. Just bring her breakfast every day to get her familiar with your face first. Clutching the last grilled sausage I just snatched from the convenience store, I charged confidently toward the female lead's classroom. The system grabbed me by the collar. Did you get your head stuck in a door? Look at what others are giving the female lead. It shoves a photo right in my face. Homemade cookies arranged in a heart shape, a fruit box with strawberries cut like petals, and even freshly ground Blue Mountain coffee paired with a croissant. Compared to the greasy sausage in my hand, it's like highbrow versus lowbrow. I stroked my chin and pondered for a while, finally getting it. Oh, it has to be exquisite. Desserts are also a form of refinement. But after following the tutorial and baking the cookies, no matter how I looked at them, something fell off. Is this it? Flour mixed with butter. Sickly sweet. Can it really fill you up? Rich people are so pretentious. I'll go with something more practical. So I chopped up the sausages into small pieces, mixed them with crushed spicy strips into the dough, cracked in 5 eggs and stirred everything together, and finally sprinkled in a handful of shredded cheese. Trust me, no one can resist this stuff. One bite, and it's so fragrant it could even tempt the ashes from the next table back to life. I stuffed this pile of bulging improved cookies into a convenience store plastic bag, and the system avatar frowned at the sight. You call these cookies? Even a dog would shake its head. I tapped his arm. You don't get it. This is called the warmth of everyday life. I kept it up for a whole week, every morning stuffing it into the female lead's desk and then running off. The system nagged every day. Look at the mountain of love letters piling up in the female lead's desk. And here you are with this thing, she'll probably just toss it in the trash. I didn't believe it. Yesterday, I deliberately kept an eye out and sneaked a glance during morning reading. That girl, always in a white dress with a high ponytail, was munching on my cookies with relish, with cheese crumbs still on the corner of her mouth. The female classmate next to her asked where she bought them, and she blushed, saying, "I don't know who gave them to me, but they're pretty good." See that? This is what I call a low-key romance. Today, I deliberately added 2 extra sausages and casually grabbed a bottle of iced cola. Just as I reached the back door of the classroom, I saw a girl with pigtails crouching on the ground, picking up a pen. Her white sneakers were stained with mud, and the cuffs of her school uniform were frayed. She looked somewhat familiar. Wasn't that the girl who collected the female lead's homework last time? When she looked up, her eyes met mine. her lashes fluttering like a startled fawn. "See, classmate, are you looking for Su Xiao Xiao? She hasn't arrived yet." I hummed in response and walked past her toward the inside. Suddenly, my wrist was grabbed. A warm and soft touch. "Your cola fell." She held out the bottle, her ears as red as ripe cherries. I took it and stuffed it into my pocket, muttering a hasty thanks before walking off. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw her still crouching there, fidgeting with the hem of her clothes. Lost in thought, as I was stuffing cookies into the desk drawer, I suddenly noticed something was off. There was a crooked little sun carved into the corner of the desk. I didn't remember seeing that last time. Just as I was wondering about it, a few lines of text suddenly floated before my eyes. "Damn, are you blind? Mail lead. You've been delivering for 7 days and still haven't realized you've been giving them to the wrong person." That's the supporting female lead's desk. The main female lead is in the third row of the next column. But have you noticed that since the supporting male lead delivered the wrong breakfast, the supporting female lead, who was so poor she had to eat steamed buns for every meal, actually gained a bit of weight? Exactly. The main male lead is feeding her cookies like she's a pig, stuffing sausages and spicy sticks in there, practically trying to cram the entire supermarket shelf in. TSK. This supporting female lead is pretty pitiful too. She actually thought the main male lead was into her, but he just delivered it to the wrong person. My foot, which was about to step out the door, suddenly froze. I instinctively looked up and saw the end of the hallway. That girl with pigtails, holding a plastic bag, was staring at me with her round eyes, a half-eaten cookie still in her hand. Huh. Look at that female supporting character's dumb expression, probably already playing out a romantic drama in her head. The female supporting character. Does he like me? He must like me. I heard this female supporting character is a pushover, someone everyone can take advantage of, except she's stubbornly devoted to the male lead. And in the end, she gets hit by a car saving him. Just look at her eyes already set on the male lead. Male lead, you're done for. Once this female supporting character sets her sights on someone, not even 8 oxen can drag her away. The barrage was flying by so fast that I stood there, my scalp tingling. What the hell? Not only did I fail to win over the female lead, but now I've gone and provoked the female supporting character. I'd heard from the system before about this female supporting character. Lin's Iowa family was dirt poor. Her parents favored sons over daughters, and she had to scrape together her tuition by working odd jobs, only to end up dying to shield the male lead from disaster. If she latches onto me, how am I supposed to get my mission done? No. I have to cut off this ill-fated entanglement right away. I turned around and darted into the classroom. Luckily, class was about to start, and the hallway was crowded, so I figured she wouldn't dare chase after me. Just as I was catching my breath against the doorframe, I heard someone muttering behind me. "Hey, isn't that the school bully from class 3? What's he doing in our class? Stay away from him. Last time someone made eye contact with him, they got cornered in the restroom and beaten up. Who's he looking for? Who knows? Probably here to cause trouble again. Move aside. Don't block him." I turned around and saw Lin Xiaoyu had actually followed me, holding the plastic bag I gave her in her arms. Standing at the door, staring blankly at me, the boys in the back row started teasing. "Oh, the school bully has his eye on our class's Xiaoyu." Lin Xiaoyu was so startled that she almost dropped the plastic bag in her hand. I frowned and shouted, "Get lost." And the classroom instantly fell silent. But she seemed frightened. Her eyes reddened, and she turned to run away. Wait, I couldn't help but call out to her. She stood frozen, her shoulders trembling slightly, like a frightened little rabbit. I scratched my head, suddenly at a loss for words. The barrage comments popped up again. "Stop yelling. Male lead, you're scaring your little wife." The supporting female character. Does he hate me? He must hate me. It's over. It's over. The softie is about to cry. I sighed, walked over, and took the plastic bag from her hand. This one was delivered to the wrong person. Lin Xiaoyu suddenly looked up, the light in her eyes instantly fading. Her lips moved, but for a long time, she couldn't utter a word. Sorry, I didn't know. Her voice was as faint as a mosquito's buzz, tears welling up in her eyes. Seeing her like this, I suddenly felt a bit irritated. It's not your fault. I dropped that line and turned back to my seat. The system nagged in my head. Why are you explaining to her? Go find a female lead now. I ignored it, staring blankly out the window. That girl's eyes just now, they looked so much like mine when I was kicked out by my stepmother as a child. The system says I'm the male lead and have to follow the script. The female lead, Su Xiaoxiao, is a transfer student, beautiful, academically gifted, the quintessential rich and pretty girl. Logically, I should be bringing her breakfast every day, writing love letters, and outshining all the male side characters hovering around her. But the next morning, standing in front of the supermarket shelf, my hand disobediently grabbed 10 grilled sausages. The system was hopping mad. You're going to deliver something to that girl again. Are you out of your mind? I insisted stubbornly. I made a mistake yesterday, so today I'm buying a few more to make up for it. So she won't go around saying I'm a bully. But when I got to the classroom and had just stuffed the plastic bag into Lin Xiaoyu's desk, she caught me red-handed. Why are you here again? She clutched the hem of her clothes, her face flushed red. I didn't dare look her in the eye. About yesterday. Sorry, but she suddenly looked up, her voice soft and thin. That cookie, I really liked it. I was taken aback for a moment, and she quickly lowered her head again. That's not what I meant. Thank you. After saying that, she turned and ran off, her ponytail whipping around like a little whip. I scratched the back of my head and grinned foolishly, while the system in my mind scolded me for being spineless. And so, the breakfast delivery continued, muddled and without a clear reason. I started bringing her all sorts of different foods. Today, it's a pancake with double eggs. Tomorrow, it's a shredded pork hand-grabbed pancake. And the day after tomorrow, I'll just bring a whole roast chicken. Lin Xiaoyu always blushes as she takes it, sneaking to the back of the classroom to eat, not even noticing the grease stains at the corners of her mouth. The bullet comments flood in every day. Is the male lead developing feelings for the wrong person? The supporting female lead's face is getting rounder. If we keep feeding her like this, she'll turn into a ball. Quick, look at the notebook in the supporting female lead's backpack. It's full of the male lead's name. I pretended not to notice, but my heart was pounding like a rabbit in my chest, eagerly looking forward to morning self-study every day. Until one morning, just as I stuffed a meat bun into her desk drawer, Su Xiaoxiao blocked me at the classroom door. Jiangchen, they say you bring Lin Xiaoyu breakfast every day. Su Xiaoxiao frowned, her tone displeased. I nodded. Yeah. She seemed surprised by my directness, pausing for a moment before saying, I thought. She didn't say the rest, but I understood. Those guys hovering around her, constantly uttering her name, wishing the whole world knew they liked her. I'm different. Who I like is none of anyone's damn business. You're wrong. I walked around her and went straight back to my seat. The system cheered in my mind. Well done. That's the CEO vibe. The female lead must see you in a new light now. I ignored it and turned to look at Lin Xiaoyu. She was lowering her head, nibbling on a steamed bun, her cheeks puffed out like a hamster's. Sunlight streamed through the window, casting a glow on her hair, making it look soft and fluffy, quite lovely. Su Xiaoxiao started actively talking to me. She asked me questions, borrowed my notes, and even deliberately walked the same route as me after school. According to the system, this means the female lead is interested in me, as long as I put in a little more effort. The conquest mission will be completed in no time. But as I looked at the imported chocolate Su Xiaoxiao handed me, all I could think about was the way Lin Xiaoyu squinted her eyes in satisfaction while eating steamed buns yesterday. I don't really like this. You should keep it for yourself. I pushed the chocolate back. Su Xiaoxiao's expression didn't look good, and the boys around her began whispering among themselves. Is Jiangchen stupid? He doesn't even want the chocolate Su Xiaoxiao gave him. Could he really have taken a liking to Lin Xiaoyu? How is that possible? Apart from being a bit better at studying, how can Lin Xiaoyu compare to Su Xiaoxiao? These words pricked like needles. Just as I was about to stand up and throw a punch, Lin Xiaoyu tugged at the corner of my shirt. Don't fight. She looked up at me with her little face, her eyes full of worry. The fire in my heart went out instantly, and I sat back down in my seat without a word. Su Xiaoxiao stomped her foot and turned away. Lin Xiaoyu took an apple out of her backpack and pressed it into my hand. Here, for you. The apple was washed spotlessly clean, still glistening with droplets of water. Eat it yourself. I wanted to give it back to her, but she pressed my hand and whispered, It's from the tree in my yard, sweet. I took a big bite. It was indeed sweet, sweet all the way to my heart. The system scolded in my mind. It's over. It's over. You've completely gone off track. This supporting female character is nothing but a burden. Getting involved with her will only lead to trouble. I chewed on an apple and mumbled indistinctly. So what if she's a burden? I'm fine with it. Lin Xiaoyu's family was truly poor. I saw with my own eyes how she washed dishes at a restaurant on weekends. Her hands soaked until they turned pale, while the boss pointed at her nose and scolded her. I rushed in and shielded her behind me, punching the boss in the face. Who are you yelling at? The boss was stunned by the punch, and when he came to his senses and threatened to call the police, he backed down after I glared at him. Why are you here? Lin Xiaoyu grabbed my arm, on the verge of tears, just passing by. I stubbornly grabbed her hand and pulled her outside. Her hand was ice cold, much like mine. I haven't finished washing the dishes yet. The boss will deduct my pay. She stomped her feet in anxiety. Fine. Deduct it. I'll pay for you. I pulled out a crumpled few hundred yuan from my pocket and shoved it into her hands, but she pushed it back with red-rimmed eyes. I don't want your money. Who gave you money? This is what you deserve. I shoved it into her pocket. You haven't paid me for yesterday's roast chicken yet. She was stunned for a moment, then burst out laughing. That was the first time I saw her smile. Her eyes curved into crescent moons, much prettier than Su Xiaoxiao. I started picking up Lin Xiaoyu from school every day. The restaurant where she worked was far from school, and she had to walk through a dark alley on her way home at night. I was worried something might happen to her, so I followed her every day. At first, she was a bit embarrassed, but later she got used to it and would take the initiative to talk to me. Jiangchen, why do you always get into fights? Some people deserve a beating. Then don't fight anymore, or you'll get expelled. Got it. What do you like to eat? I'll bring some for you tomorrow. Anything's fine, as long as there's meat. Her eyes lit up with a smile. Then I'll make you braised pork. The next day, she pulled an iron lunchbox out of her backpack. When she opened it, the braised pork was stewed dark and black, with oil splatters everywhere. Tu made this for the first time, so it might not taste very good. She lowered her head, her voice as faint as a mosquito's buzz. I picked up my chopsticks, took a big piece, and stuffed it into my mouth. It was salty to the point of bitterness and not even cooked through. But I chewed with relish. Not bad. Better than the cafeteria. Her eyes suddenly lit up. Really? Then I'll make it for you again tomorrow. Watching her silly expression, my heart melted completely. The system scolded me. saying I was hopeless, that I was ignoring the female lead and insisting on hanging out with a poor girl instead. I ignored him, too busy watching Lin Xiaoyu's cheeks puff up as she ate. This girl seemed to have gained a little weight nice. The day Su Xiaoxiao confronted me, I was explaining a math problem to Lin Xiaoyu. She stood at the classroom door, her face dark. Jiangchen, what exactly do you mean by this? Without lifting my head, I said, what do you mean by that? Aren't you supposed to like me? Then why are you always hanging around Lin Xiaoyu? Her voice rose, drawing the attention of the entire class. Lin Xiaoyu flinched and shrank behind me, the pen in her hand dropping to the floor. I frowned and shielded her behind me. When did I ever say I liked you? Su Xiaoxiao was stunned. Then what about the love letter you gave me before? I just wrote it casually. I blurted out, only realizing what I had said after the words left my mouth. The system screamed in my mind, you're insane. Su Xiaoxiao clearly didn't understand and just thought I was messing with her. So she ran out crying. The people around started whispering, saying I had played Su Xiaoxiao and gotten involved with a poor girl instead. Lin Xiaoyu tugged at my sleeve. Jiangchen, maybe you should go explain things to her. What did you say? I pinched her cheek. I never liked her in the first place. Her face instantly flushed bright red, and she lowered her head, not daring to look at me. The barrage comments flew by rapidly. Finally, the male lead has come to his senses. The female supporting character's face is as red as a monkey's butt. Just confess already. What are you dawdling for? I cleared my throat, about to speak, when the class bell rang. Forget it. No rush. The day Lin Xiaoyu's father came knocking, I was at her place fixing a light bulb for her. The man reeked of alcohol. The moment he stepped in, he flipped the table, sending an enamel bowl crashing to the floor and shattering into pieces, while soup splattered all over my pant leg. You ungrateful girl. I told you to scrape together the tuition for your brother. Where's the money? His eyes red. He roared at Lin Xiaoyu, spittle spraying all over her face. Lin Xiaoyu flinched and hid behind me, her hands gripping my clothes so tightly that her knuckles turned white. Haven't gotten my salary for this month yet. Haven't gotten it. I think you've been giving it all to this bastard. He suddenly turned to me, grabbed a carrying pole from the corner, and swung it at me. I'll beat you to death, you little brat who seduced my daughter. I dodged sideways, reached out and pushed Lin Xiaoyu aside, then grabbed the carrying pole with my other hand and yanked it hard. The man lost his balance, stumbled, and fell to the ground, hitting the back of his head against the table leg, howling in pain. Jiangchen. Lin Xiaoyu screamed and rushed over to pull me. Stop fighting. He's my dad. Scum like this deserves to be a father. I stepped on his back, looking down at him with a glare. Last month you took the tuition she saved up from working part-time, and this month you're back to steal her living expenses. Are you trying to drive her to death? The man struggled under my foot, cursing under his breath. I raised her all these years. It's only right that she gives me money. Who the hell do you think you are, daring to meddle in my business? I'm her boyfriend. I shouted even louder than him. From now on, I'm the one who'll take care of her matters. As soon as those words left my mouth, not only was the man stunned, but even Lin Xiaoyu suddenly looked up at me, her eyes wide open like a startled deer. I didn't have time to care what she thought. I pulled out my wallet, took out all the money inside, and threw it in the man's face. There were crumpled coins and a few freshly withdrawn bills, adding up to about 3,000 yuan. This money should be enough for your son's tuition. I pressed down hard on his back with my foot. From today on, you're not allowed to set foot in this room again, and you're not allowed to ask her for money anymore. Got it? The man stared at the money on the floor, his eyes fixed on it, no longer caring about the pain. He nodded hastily. Got it. Got it. I won't come anymore. I picked him up off the ground, dragged him out the door like a dead dog, slammed it shut with a bang, and locked it. The room was so quiet you could hear each other's breathing. Lin Xiaoyu kept her head down, her shoulders trembling slightly, whether from crying or fear. I couldn't tell. I walked over, intending to pat her on the back, but my hand stopped halfway and pulled back. That boyfriend comment just now came out too strong. Will she think I'm being a creep? Sorry, I just now. Before I could finish, Lin Xiaoyu suddenly looked up, her face streaked with tears. But she bit her lip hard and stayed silent. She just stared at me like that, her eyes as if they had caught stars, shining with an unsettling brightness. You just said, "You're my boyfriend." Her voice trembled badly, the tail end carrying a hint of barely perceptible hope. My heart skipped a beat, my face flushing slightly as I braced myself and nodded. Yeah, is that not okay? She didn't say a word, suddenly throwing herself into my arms, her arms tightly wrapping around my waist, burying her face in my chest and rubbing it back and forth, her tears soaking through my t-shirt. Oh, Jiangchen. She was crying so hard she could barely breathe. No one has ever protected me like this. I stiffened, my hand hovering in the air for a long moment before gently landing on her back, patting it softly. From now on, I'll protect you. She cried even harder, as if she wanted to let out all the grievances of a lifetime. That night, I didn't leave. Lin Xiaoyu's home was just a small room, furnished with a double bed, a wardrobe with peeling paint, and a three-legged desk. She gave me the bed and moved a small stool for herself, saying she would read by the desk. How could I let her sleep on a stool? I pulled her onto the bed. We'll just squeeze in together. I won't touch you. She blushed and shrank back against the wall, her back to me, her shoulders still trembling slightly. In the darkness, I could smell the faint scent of soap in her hair, and my heart was pounding like a caged rabbit, thumping wildly. Well, after holding it in for a long time, I finally said, "How much more does your brother's tuition need? I'll withdraw the money tomorrow." "No need." She spun around abruptly, her eyes glistening in the moonlight. "I can handle it myself." "Really? Why be so polite with me?" I turned over to face her. "Have you forgotten? I'm your boyfriend." Her face flushed bright red, and she quickly turned back, muttering in a low voice, "Then I'll do your laundry and cook for you from now on, to make it up to you. Is that okay?" "All right." I laughed. "But you have to add meat in every meal." She gently kicked me under the covers. "Got it. Carnivore." That night, I slept especially soundly, not even hearing the system scolding me in my head for being so easily satisfied. The next morning, I was woken up by the aroma of food. Lin Xiaoyu was busy at the stove, wearing the old apron my mom had given me, her sleeves rolled up to her elbows, revealing her slender white wrists. Eggs were sizzling in the pan, crackling with oil, smelling so good it made my mouth water. "Awake. Go wash up and eat." She turned back and smiled at me, her eyes curving into crescent moons. On the table were 2 bowls of porridge, 4 fried eggs, and a dish of pickled vegetables. The edges of the fried eggs were burnt, clearly the work of a beginner. But I wolfed them down so ravenously that I nearly swallowed my tongue. "Eat slowly. No one's going to take it from you." She handed me a glass of water, her eyes brimming with smiles. I mumbled indistinctly while eating, 100 times better than the cafeteria. Her face flushed again as she lowered her head to take small sips of porridge, but the corners of her mouth couldn't help curling upward. After the meal, I had to go to the internet cafe to earn money by playing games for others, while Lin Xiaoyu had to head to the supermarket for her part-time job. At the entrance of the alley, I suddenly remembered something and pulled an item out of my pocket to hand to her. It was a hair tie I bought yesterday while passing by an accessory shop, a red string with small sun charm hanging from it. Very similar to the one she had carved on the corner of her desk. For you. I scratched my head, a little embarrassed. Yours is almost broken. She clutched the hair tie, and tears suddenly fell. What are you crying for? Don't you like it? I panicked. No. She quickly wiped away her tears, pulled off the old hair tie, and put on the new one. The red string stood out vividly against her jet black hair. I really like it. Thank you. Just as long as you like it. My heart felt sweet. I'll pick you up tonight. She nodded, then turned and ran toward the supermarket. After a few steps, she looked back at me, her ponytail swinging like a little whip, the little sun on the red string glistening in the sunlight. The system popped up out of nowhere, scrolling a barrage of comments in front of my eyes. The male lead is beyond saving. Instead of pursuing the female lead, you hang out with a supporting female character every day. Look at that silly grin on your facettes practically reaching your ears. I'm warning you. If this keeps up, the plot is completely unsalvageable. I ignored him, humming a tune as I headed toward the internet cafe. I don't give a damn about the plot. All I want now is to make enough money quickly to buy Lin Xiaoyu a new outfit and treat her to a hearty meal with meat. As I reached the entrance of the internet cafe, my phone suddenly rang. It was an unfamiliar number. I answered, and it was Su Xiaoxiao's voice, tinged with a hint of grievance. Jiangchen, do you dislike me? Not at all, I said, puzzled. Then why are you always avoiding me? Her voice was a little choked. I know you delivered the wrong breakfast, but I don't mind. You can keep bringing it to me. Only then did I remember there was still the female lead to deal with. I scratched my head and said, Su Xiaoxiao, let me make this clear to you. I don't like you. There was a few seconds of silence on the other end of the line. Then suddenly an outburst. You don't like me. Who do you like then? Lin Xiaoyu. What's so good about her? She's so poor and shabby. She's good in every way. 100 times better than you. I frowned. If you have nothing else, I'm hanging up. I'm busy. Jiangchen, you'll regret this. She screamed before hanging up. I shook my head and shoved my phone back into my pocket. Regret. I now feel that meeting Lin Xiaoyu is the luckiest thing in my life. When I went to pick up Lin Xiaoyu in the evening, her boss was pointing at her nose and yelling at her, saying she had undercharged. Lin Xiaoyu lowered her head, clutching the hem of her clothes tightly, tears welling up in her eyes. I stepped forward and shielded her behind me. What's going on? When the boss saw me, his arrogance deflated a bit, but he still insisted stubbornly. She shortchanged a customer by 50 when giving change. That money has to be deducted from her salary. Impossible. I glared at him. Xiaoyu isn't the careless type. Go check the surveillance footage yourself. The boss dawdled and refused to go, so I dragged him straight to the office. Lin Xiaoyu quickly caught up and pulled me back. Jiangchen, forget it. It's just $50. It's not about the money. I just can't let you be wronged. I shook off her hand and insisted the boss pull up the surveillance footage. The footage was crystal clear. The customer had stuffed the money into his own pocket and even made a face at the camera. The boss's face turned green. He quickly apologized to Lin Xiaoyu and even reimbursed her the 50 yuan. Walking out of the supermarket, Lin Xiaoyu suddenly hugged me, burying her head in my chest and murmuring, Jiangchen, why are you so good to me? I told you. It's because I like you. The words slipped out, and my face felt a little hot after saying them. She froze for a moment, then abruptly lifted her head, her eyes wide open. Her lips moved for a while before she whispered, You mean it? Of course it's true. I looked into her eyes and said seriously, From the first time I saw you squatting on the ground to pick up a pin, I kind of liked you. Later, When I brought you breakfast and watched you eat braised pork, I liked you even more. Her tears suddenly fell, pattering onto the back of my hand, burning so hot that my heart trembled. Why are you crying? Don't you like me? I panicked. No. She quickly shook her head, tears falling even harder. I like you, Jiangchen. I've liked you for a long time. I've always envied you. I was stunned. Then a surge of ecstasy washed over me. I picked her up and spun her around, startling her into screaming as she clung to my neck. Then you're my wife now. She buried her face in my neck, her voice muffled and choked with tears, yet as sweet as sugar. After spinning her around for a while, I finally set her down, pressing my forehead against hers. I could smell the faint scent of soap in her hair, along with the fresh fragrance of her new hair tie. If anyone ever bullies you again, just tell me, and I'll knock them flat. I pinched her cheek. Yeah, she nodded, smiling, with tears still clinging to her eyelashes like stars touched by dew. The system was flooding my screen with a barrage of insults, but I didn't see a single one. My eyes were only on Lin Xiaoyu. Her smile was so beautiful, brighter than the stars in the sky. That night, we walked home hand in hand, the moonlight stretching our shadows long and long, pressed tightly together, as if we had never been apart. I know that from today onward, I am Lin Xiaoyu's support. No matter what difficulties arise in the future, I will stand in front of her, so she never has to suffer grievances or shed tears again. As for the plot, whatever, let it be. In the last month before the college entrance exam, Lin Xiaoyu suddenly stopped coming to school again. I squatted at the entrance of her alley for a whole day before I finally saw her come out, with a bruise under her eye and more bruises on her arm. Did your dad do that? I clenched my fists, my nails digging into my flesh. She lowered her head, her voice trembling. I'm getting married. The man gave my dad 30,000 yuan as a bride price, enough for my brother's future schooling. Marry my ass. I grabbed her and pulled her out of the alley. Come with me. She struggled and refused to move. Jiangchen, don't bother with me anymore. This is my fate. Your fate isn't supposed to be like this. I yelled at her. You're so good at your studies. You can get into college. You can leave this godforsaken place. She suddenly burst into tears, tears streaming down like broken beads. My dad tore up my admission ticket. I can't take the exam anymore. My heart felt like someone had kicked it hard, aching so much I couldn't breathe. That day, I hid Lin Xiaoyu in an internet cafe booth and went back to her house myself. Her father was drinking with a few shady friends. When he saw me come in, he smashed a bottle on the ground and said, "You little brat, you still dare to show up." I didn't waste words with him. I went up and pinned him to the ground, beating him until his face was bruised and swollen. And he begged for mercy. Where's the admission ticket? I asked, stepping on his face. Trembling, he pulled a crumpled piece of paper from under the bed. I picked it up and saw it had been torn into pieces. I gritted my teeth and threw a few more punches at him. I'm telling you, if Lin Xiaoyu loses even a single strand of hair, I'll tear down your house. When I got back to the internet cafe, Lin Xiaoyu was sitting in the corner, hugging her knees, staring blankly into space. The moment she saw me come in, her eyes instantly turned red. The admission ticket. It's okay. I have a way. I took out my phone from my pocket and called the homeroom teacher. Luckily, the school had a backup, and I could get a replacement the next day. Lin Xiaoyu looked at me, crying even harder. Because you're my future wife. I ruffled her hair. She froze for a moment, then burst out laughing, though tears were still streaming down her face. During the days of the college entrance exam, I bought Lin Xiaoyu breakfast every single day. I would say to her, "Good luck," and she would nod with a flushed face. clutching my hand and refusing to let go. After the last exam ended, she ran out of the test center and threw herself into my arms. Jiangchen, I think I did well. Of course. Just look at who's cheering you on. I pinched her cheek. What you want to eat? My treat. I want malatang. With double the meat. No problem. As much as you want. We sat at a roadside stall, eating until we were drenched in sweat, while the people around us looked at us as if we were fools. But I didn't Korea as long as I could see Lin Xiaoyu smile. I'd do anything. On the day the results came out, Lin Xiaoyu got into the local normal university, and I also passed the undergraduate cutoff, applying to the same school as her. The system cursed me in my mind, calling me worthless. You could have gotten into a top 985, and you're throwing away your future for a side character. Who cares about the future? As long as I can be with her. That's all that matters. I was smoking a cigarette, watching Lin Xiaoyu fill out her college application form, a silly grin spreading across my face. After filling out the form, she looked up at me. Jiangchen, are you really going to apply to the same school as me? Your score can take you to a better place. I'm not going. I'll stay with you. I snatched her application form and wrote my name next to hers. From now on, I've got your back. She blushed and lowered her head, but the corners of her mouth couldn't help curling up. On the first day of school, I was carrying Lin Xiaoyu's luggage when we were stopped by a few girls just as we entered the dormitory building. Oh, isn't this Lin Xiaoyu? Didn't expect you to get into college either. The leading girl said in a sloppy tone. I recognized her. She was from Lin Xiaoyu's hometown and used to bully her all the time. Get lost. I shielded Lin Xiaoyu behind me and clenched my fists. Jiangchen, why are you still with her? The girl let out a sneer. Don't you know her dad's up to his neck in debt? Stick with her, and you'll get dragged down too. I didn't waste any words with her. I walked up and punched her right in the face, making her nose bleed. If you ever bother her again, I'll destroy you, I said, pointing at her nose. She ran off in a panic, scared out of her wits. Lin Xiaoyu grabbed my arm, almost in tears. Why did you get into another fight? If the school finds out, you'll be expelled. It's fine. She won't dare say anything. I ruffled her hair. If anyone bullies you from now on, just tell me, and I'll beat them up. She sniffled and suddenly hugged me. Jiangchen, thank you. I was stunned, my heart pounding like a drum. I hugged her back. What for? I'm your husband. For 4 years of college, Lin Xiaoyu and I were almost inseparable. She was a good student, winning scholarships every year, and worked part-time as a tutor, saving up quite a bit of money. I haven't been idle either. I've been working odd jobs outside, helping people with game boosting, and managed to save up a little money. We rented a small apartment right next to the school of 1 bedroom, 1 living room place. It was small, but very cozy. Lin Xiaoyu would keep the place spotless and cook dinner for me every day. Her cooking skills kept getting better. The braised pork belly she made was so fragrant and delicious, even better than what you'd get at a restaurant. I would wrap my arms around her from behind, resting my chin on her shoulder. Honey, when are you going to marry me? She would blush and push me away. Wait until you find a proper job. Being a game booster is a proper job too. And it pays well. No, it's too unstable. Then I'll go take the civil service exam. Her eyes lit up with a smile. Sure. After graduation, I actually went and took the civil service exam. To my surprise, I passed and became a neighborhood police officer at the local police station. Lin Xiaoyu became a primary school teacher, teaching Chinese. The children all adored her. We bought a small house on the edge of the city. The down payment was saved up by Lin Xiaoyu and me together, and we'll pay off the mortgage slowly. On moving day, Lin Xiaoyu stood in the empty living room and suddenly started crying. What's wrong? I panicked and quickly hugged her. I just feel like it's a dream. She leaned against me, her voice choked with sobs. Before, I always thought that just having enough to eat was good enough. I never imagined I could have a home of my own. It will only get better from now on. I kissed her forehead. I will treat you well for the rest of my life. She looked up, her eyes sparkling. Jiangchen, let's get married. All right, let's go get the marriage certificate tomorrow. I picked her up and spun her around several times. The wedding was simple, just a few close friends and colleagues were invited. Lin Xiaoyu stood before me in a rented wedding dress, her eyes narrowing into slits as she smiled. I looked at her and suddenly felt that those days of fighting and killing were like a lifetime ago. The system appeared for the last time after the wedding ended. It watched Lin Xiaoyu and me grinning foolishly in our new home inside. All right, I guess you're just lucky. Actually managing to turn a side character into the female lead. Side character or female led. She's my wife. I wrapped my arm around Lin Xiaoyu's waist and gave her a kiss on the cheek. Lin Xiaoyu blushed and pushed me away. Stop it. There are people around. The system rolled its eyes. Fine. I'm out. I'm never coming back. Take care. No need to see you out. I waved my hand, my eyes fixed only on Lin Xiaoyu. In the second year of our marriage, Lin Xiaoyu became pregnant and gave birth to a chubby baby boy. A spitting image of me, especially with that stubborn temper. I named our son Jiang Yinyu, meaning I would always miss Lin Xiaoyu. Lin Xiaoyu laughed at me for being uneducated, but secretly wiped away her tears. When her son was 1 year old, Lin Xiaoyu's father suddenly showed up at her door, carrying a basket of eggs. His hair had turned much grayer, and his back was hunched. Xiaoyu, Dad was wrong. I wasn't good to you before. Don't take it to heart. He rubbed his hands together, looking very uneasy. Lin Xiaoyu said nothing, her eyes reddening. I let him into the house and poured him a cup of tea. Let the past be the past. From now on, come and see the child often. He was stunned for a moment. Then tears fell. Thank you, Jiangchen. After that, he would occasionally come to see the child, though he didn't say much. It was clear that he truly cared for the child. Lin Xiaoyu's smile grew more and more frequent. The year my son started kindergarten, I got promoted and became the deputy director of the police station. Lin Xiaoyu was also rated as an outstanding teacher, and the school gave her a raise. We moved to a slightly bigger house with a small yard. Lin Xiaoyu planted some flowers and a few vegetables in the yard. Every day after work, I would help her water the flowers, and she would hand me a glass of water. Our son ran around the yard, giggling with joy. The system appeared out of nowhere again, standing on the courtyard wall, looking at our family of 3, and curled its lip. All right, I guess you're doing okay, kid. Of course. Just look at whose wife she is. I put my arm around Lin Xiaoyu's shoulders, looking smug. Lin Xiaoyu laughed and gave me a playful punch. Don't act like a kid. The system rolled its eyes and disappeared, probably never to return. A few years later, my son started elementary school, the same one as Lin Xiaoyu, and followed her around every day like a little shadow. I became the director of the institute as well. Though busy, I made time every day to go home and be with a mother and son. On weekends, we would take our son to the park or go back to our hometown to visit. Lin Xiaoyu's father hasn't been in the best health, so we brought him to live with us. Lin Xiaoyu cooks for him every day and keeps him company, and there's been more smiles on his face. One night, Lin Xiaoyu and I were lying in bed, gazing at the moon outside the window. Jiangchen, do you think we'll always be like this? She leaned against me, her voice soft and gentle. Of course. I held her hand. As long as I'm here, I won't let you suffer any grievances. She looked up and kissed my lips. Me neither. The year our son started high school, he had grown taller than me, becoming a half-grown boy. Yet he still clung to Lin Xiaoyu, following her around every day, calling out Mom. Lin Xiaoyu now has some white hair and wrinkles at the corners of her eyes. But in my eyes, she is still as beautiful as when I first met her. We moved again, this time to a house with an attic. Lin Xiaoyu turned the attic into a small study, where she spends her time reading and writing. I would sit beside her, watching her write. The sunlight streamed through the window, falling on her, warm and gentle. Jiangchen, do you still remember the first time we met? She suddenly asked. Of course I remember. You were crouching on the ground, picking up a pin, like a startled little rabbit, I said with a smile. Back then, I felt that even though you looked fierce, you were actually a pretty nice person. She leaned on my shoulder. Good thing you dropped that can of cola on the ground that day. That wasn't intentional on my part. I know. She smiled. It was arranged by fate. On the day our son got into university, we took him to school, watching him carry his luggage through the school gate. Lin Xiaoyu and I stood at the entrance, our eyes reddening. The child has grown up. Lin Xiaoyu sighed. Yeah. From now on, it's just the two of us. I wrapped my arm around her waist. Perfect. We can have some time alone together now. She blushed and gave me a playful punch. You old flirt. We went to the seaside, a place Lin Xiaoyu had always wanted to visit. We strolled along the beach, watching the sunrise and sunset, holding hands like we did when we were young, with endless words to share. Jiangchen, thank you. Lin Xiaoyu suddenly stopped and looked at me. What's there to thank me for? I'm your husband. I kissed her forehead. Thank you for making me feel like I'm worthy of being loved. Tears streamed down her face. You fool. You've always been worth it. I held her tightly in my arms. From the day I met you, you were worth it. Our hair has turned white, our backs hunched. Yet we still hold hands every day, strolling through the neighborhood. Lin Xiaoyu's memory isn't what it used to be. She often forgets what she was about to do. But whenever I remind her, she just smiles and says, getting old, no good for anything anymore. It's okay. I remember. I held her hand and walked forward slowly. You forgot. I'm your husband. She leaned on my shoulder, like a little girl. You're my husband. The setting sun stretched our shadows long and long, tightly leaning together, as if we had never been apart. I know that the best thing I have ever done in my life was dropping that can of Coke on the ground that day and meeting Lin Xiaoyu. No matter how many days lie ahead, I will stay by her side and keep walking with her, forever and ever. The end.